Over the span of many years, birds have evolved. Studies show that birds have evolved from dinosaurs. Traditionally, the source of evidence in support of this scientific view was the similar shape of the bones of birds and the variety of many reptilians, but the spectacular new discoveries have added other lines of evidence to the table. One of these involves features from the eggs of these dinosaurs. Many fossils have shown not only did many reptilian dinosaurs resemble birds in the way they laid their eggs, but these eggs also look like the eggs of birds. Evidence that the birds have evolved from carnivorous predators that ruled the Mesozoic ecosystems is plentiful, and it comes from disparate lines of evidence. Functional view of the evolution of feathers has traditionally focused on insulation, flight, and display. Discoveries of non-flying feathered dinosaurs in China, however, suggest that flight could not have been the original primary function, as the feathers simply would not have been capable of providing any form of lift. There have been suggestions that feathers may have had their original function in keeping them warm, waterproofing, or even sinks for metabolic waste such as sulfur, while other feathers have been suggested as having evolved from reptilian scales. These birds live in the same basic habitat, the city, so why are they so different? If all birds ate exactly the same food, lived in exactly the same place, and tried to raise their young in exactly the same habitat, they would all be competing for the same types of food, water, shelter, and space. Fortunately, different birds fill different niches, areas within the habitat. Over time, they've developed special ways to adapt to their unique place in the environment. Reports in 2003 showed that more than 100 species have shifted their range toward the poles at an average pace of 4 miles a decade, and thousands of others were emerging, migrating, or breeding days to weeks earlier than they did a century ago. But species differ in the way they adapt to climate change. Reports suggest that mismatches may be producing new kinds of behavioral changes. The first kinds of behavioral changes in range and timing. Now we're seeing changes in diets and other behaviors that show some animals are trying to adapt to their new circumstances.